Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the winter storm that's going to be affecting the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic on Super Bowl Sunday and could drop a quick couple inches of snow, possibly in some cases several inches of snow. Right now, as we take a look at the National Weather Service, you have multiple warnings and advisories all across the Northeast. The purple, once again, is winter storm advisories, and in the pink is winter storm warnings. Warnings are usually for 6+ amounts, so I was surprised when they put these warnings up for parts of New Jersey, Long Island, and parts of southern Massachusetts here. But then again, I think it's just because it's going to be so hard to snow that it's going to be coming down at a rapid rate, an inch per hour, in a quick amount of time. As you take a look into the middle part of the country, you have a bunch of winter weather advisories, and you still have a couple counties in a winter storm warning now. This is your piece that's diving down into the south as your low pressure system is starting to gather strength. These two eventually will form offshore, forming a nor'easter, and will jet out into the northeast here. If you take a look up in the Midwest, you have wind chill advisories and warnings for the bunch of the cold air that is coming down from the Arctic vortex that is dropping down from Canada and eventually will make its way into parts of the U.S. And then again, you have winter storm advisories and warnings in part of Montana for another storm that is just coming off the coast of California that will affect the Northeast into Tuesday. It won't be a severe storm. It looks like just to be marginal to medium risk right now, but anything could change. If you take a look at your map here, you can see you have your first system that is dropping all the advisories and warnings into the middle part of the country, and you have your second system down here in the south that is drawing out some severe thunderstorms. Right now, this is going to be bringing down some cold air, so all these 40s and 50s on the east coast right now will probably just be 30s all day tomorrow. Once these two form and more merge together, you'll have a low pressure system that forms off the coast. It will go under somewhat of a rapid intensification, nothing too crazy, but it will intensify. But as it does that, it's going to be moving at 40 to 50 miles per hour. If you wanted a long duration snowstorm, you want it to at least be moving at 20 to 10 miles an hour, but this is going to be a rapid mover, nothing like we just had last week as the storm stalled off the coast of like Delaware right here, and maybe a little bit off, but the storm did stall somewhere around here, causing massive totals up and across of just west of Boston, all the way into New Jersey and parts of New York and Long Island. And then, like I said before, these two will merge into one big storm and then eventually fly out to here. Right now, we have some severe cold up into the Midwest here. If we can continue to look over here, this is your high temperatures right now. This isn't wind chills. This is high temperatures in the negatives that is in parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. International Falls is right around here, I believe. I may be wrong. But just west to that, you have a negative 15 reading, and up to the north, you have negative 14s, and as you make your way into Canada, negative 17 reading. If you make your way a little bit more south, northern parts of Arkansas, are in the upper 30s, lower 40s, and you're just starting to see some mixing in with snow in parts of Oklahoma, it seems like. Just by that national forest area that you have in Arkansas is starting to go, getting closer at least to 32 degrees. Right now you're at 35. Where it is starting to snow looks like it's actually 34, 31. Actually, excuse me, that's not the temperatures, that's the road. It's 34 degrees right by McRoss there. Sorry if I said that wrong, but once again, you have this system that's coming down from the Midwest. We'll combine with this system that's going to give Florida and even parts of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi some severe weather just before Super Bowl Sunday, make its way up northward, giving North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia some snow, and then eventually make its way into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. If we take a look at the GFS model here, you can see by 1 a.m. tonight, these two systems are starting to get really combined here. You have a low pressure system that's forming off the coast of South Carolina, and you also have another low pressure system that's backed by Florida. Now, by, let's say, 6 a.m., you have a well-defined low-pressure system that's just off the coast of North Carolina, and on the northern fringe of this, you should be snowing. It may start off as a little bit of rain in such as Long Island, New Jersey, but you should quickly go all over to snow. But now by 1 p.m., look how far this low-pressure system has jumped. This is 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Once again, this low pressure system is moving at a rapid pace, so this won't be a long duration event, but it will be able, since the heavy snow is able to get on to the coast and it's just close enough, it should be at maybe half an inch to 1.5 inches an hour of snow. Now, if you lay that out over 8 hours, you could get close to 6 to even 8 inches of snow in some parts of the area. Now, if we make our way to 6, 7 o'clock here, you still have heavy snow off on the Cape, just back by Boston, and you're starting to have some flurries back by Long Island, and back by 1 a.m. it should be snowing in Maine, and then now by 7 it's all done, and we make our way throughout to Tuesday, which the storm is going to be affecting Montana. That's why you have all the warnings up there. It's a little bit of a clipper system, it looks like. The low pressure system is going to be a little bit too far north to give Long Island and central New Jersey points south snow. May start out as a little bit of snow, but quickly change over the rain. But once again, this isn't a quick hit. That's also a quick hitter event, which could drop a couple inches. And then our eyes turn towards this storm for Thursday. The first round could be all snow for part of Long Island point south, but depending on the track, it could all change over the rain. And after that, looks like all the Arctic air will come down south. This is what the GFS wants to print out for the snow totals for Sunday. Anywhere south of this blue line and north of this line right here is pretty much 3+ inches right here. Anywhere in this almost pink color, we're starting to get to white, is about 5+. You have some specks over that on Long Island and all the way down just south of Baltimore and DC into parts of Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. You could see pockets of maybe 8 inches. This is just a GFS model. If we go over to the NAM, which now this is 2 p.m. right now, and if we look back at our weather map, you could see there's a little bit more precipitation. So keep that in mind for now. As you make your way towards 12 a.m., you have your low pressure system just off the coast of South Carolina making its way north-northeast. Now by 8 a.m., you can see you start off as a little bit of rain on the coast, but that should quickly change over to snow. And once it gets going by 12 and all the way to 2 p.m. along the coastal parts of Long Island, all the way up to Boston and parts of Philadelphia, you could see an inch, maybe 2 inches per hour, depending on the bands that's set up. But otherwise, that's pretty much it from the NAM. And these are your snow totals from the NAM. As you can see, it's a lot more aggressive with the 3-inch line that brings it all the way up to parts of central New York, central PA, and also central West Virginia. Also, it could give southeastern parts of Kentucky 6+ inches, at least on the new NAM run that we just got. And anywhere part of this pink line in north and also south of here is your 5+ range. The NAM has been the most aggressive of the models with the snow totals. Last time it did this, it was correct, so I'm leaning towards the NAM a little bit more than the GFS. But I think the European is a combination of the two. You'll see that in a moment. But one thing I want to point out, the Forks and parts of the Cape here are going to be the jackpots. I think you could see 8+ inches out on the Forks and maybe 10+ inches if the NAM is correct. But I really do think those places will be the jackpots for this storm. If you take a look at the European here, you'll see that it's almost a combination of the two. It starts out as snow. This is around 6 a.m. Now by 1 o'clock, you can see you have your heavy snow just south of Boston, just east of New York City, and down the coast. This is pretty much where your heavy snow is. You can see this pink specks right over here shown by the Euro. That is not sleet or freezing rain. That is heavy snow being picked up by the European. And now by, let's say, 6 p.m., you could see this was your heavy snow bands where it all set up. Now it's well off the coast, and now it's almost in a 40-70 benchmark that we talked about the other day. It's perfect. If storms cross through that area, anywhere from Maine all the way down into Washington, D.C., could see an all-snow event. And in this case, it looks like to be that exact track. If we take a look at the snow total shown by the European, it is a mixture of the NAM and the GFS. Let's take this print for example. The GFS only has 3 inches, meanwhile the NAM has 9 inches. The European has 6 inches here. It may be a little bit less than NAM for the Cape, but you still have more snowfall than the GFS depicted. You have 9-10 inches out here, and once again, looks like DC could see 5 inches, Baltimore also 5 inches. Just south of that, could see 6, 7, and possibly pockets of 8 inches by southern Maryland, higher elevations of Virginia, and parts of Delaware, depending on that rain and snow line, and all the way back up into Maine. Now, if you take a look at my final snowfall map, it's a combination of all the models here. This coating to an inch line stretches all the way back from northern parts of Maine, all the way back to western parts of PA, back towards Pittsburgh. This lighter but also darker blue than this color of blue is 1 to 3 inches that stretches from Bangor, Maine, all the way down to Albany, all the way through Harrisburg, and just west of Baltimore and Washington. This blue color here is, let's say, 3 to 5 here. This includes Baltimore, Washington, almost includes Philadelphia, but that's in the next color up. New Haven, and just south of, includes Boston. But just south of Boston is this 5 to 8 line that stretches all the way from Philadelphia. You can see 5 inches, I think. New York City, also 5 inches. But as you make your way onto Long Island, this is where you see your 6 to 8 inch range. Like I said before, anywhere in these areas, I think, that includes the Cape and outer forks of Long Island, this is where I think you could see, oops, sorry about that. This is where I think you could see your 8 plus range, anywhere in these areas. But besides the fact, this is still going to be a dominant snowstorm. Oh, I almost forgot. Down by Delaware and southern New Jersey, this is where you will have your mixing. It will start out maybe as rain, then go back to snow. It'll start out as snow, go to rain for a little bit, and then as the low pressure pulls out and it goes out to sea and it counterclockwise and brings colder air back in, you could change back over the snow, and that's where you could accumulate more snow on the backside. Nevertheless, this is still going to be a snowstorm that we're going to have, even if it's not as extreme as the last week's storm. This is still going to be a storm that we're going to have to shovel and maybe some cases plow if you're on the coast. But stay safe and have a great Super Bowl Sunday. And I think I want the Bucs to win for Sunday so Brady could get his 7th ring. Go Bucs.